เรารักตะวันนะเราเราก็รักหมอเหมือนกันนะ
The other side was injured due to heavy rain. Tony is stuck at Sammy's house, but seniors with obsessive-compulsive disorder can't stand someone rummaging through their things. After Tony learned of this, he intensified his efforts. Make a mess of the house. Sammy's going crazy talking non-stop, and Tony succeeded in shutting up the senior with a direct kiss.
นายทำไรวะก็ถ้าไม่ทำแบบเนี้ยพี่ไม่เลิกบ่นสักทีดิ
But was kicked out by the senior soon. But that's okay. Sammy's red ears were red behind the door and he didn't recover for a long time. Mark sent Tin to the apartment and wanted to go up with him, but Tin thinks it's his own business and needs to be resolved by himself. So did not agree. Tin came to the room Afong said by himself and pushed open the door. Lying on the bed was my boyfriend and Afong. Tin is very angry, but Ben actually told Tin that he likes him. Just work is more important in Tin's life, so I can't satisfy myself. And Afong is also a strange person. He told Tin this Ben is like this every time, but in the end I will come back to find myself. Mark downstairs waited for Tin for a long time. When I want to rush up in a hurry, Tin came down distraught, followed by Ben chasing after. Mark being angry? Throw a fist and start a fight with the scumbag. It wasn't until the security guard came that Tin cried and shouted for the two to stop. Although Tin helped Mark deal with the wound, but he's still angry at the other side's concealment of the matter.
ตะวันจะไปไหนอ่ะเราอยากอยู่คนเดียว
So I walked silently in the rain by myself. Maybe the blow was too big and he passed out. And Mark then carried Tin home. The uncle and the second uncle saw that this is not good. The doctor needs to change clothes. So who'll replace it? Of course it must be Mark. So the shy Mark carried Tin back to the room, and extremely shy and hesitant to act. Even cover your eyes. But when he touches where he shouldn't, he still gave up and closed his eyes. Obediently stripped the doctor. Next comes the more shy ones. Do you want to take off your pants? Don't say the child is very caring. I have thought of this question, so I gritted my teeth and stepped on my feet. The doctor is completely naked, and the doctor wakes up neither early nor late. Woke up suddenly when I was naked. Startled Mark underscore, but after such a toss Tin's mood improved a lot, and cooked delicious food for Mark. After such an exciting night, only food can soothe a broken heart. Tin was going to leave after dinner, but Mark was a little worried.
มันฝนจะตกอีกแล้วนะคืนนี้เราก็ไม่อยากให้ตะวันกลับไปนอนคนเดียวอีกอะเราเป็นห่วง
Sure enough, it's late at night. Tin finally couldn't help but cry very sadly with his back to him. Everyone wakes up early the next morning. Mark used himself as an example to tell Tin, losing love hurts but it will pass, and the best way is to find a new relationship. Uncle and uncle suddenly appeared, and tell Tin the new partner is opposite you. Tin whose relationship just fell through. Looking at this pair of old CPs, I am really envious, so I asked for the secret of growing old together. Uncle and uncle didn't say anything else, only two words, loyalty. Because the reason for being together is love. But to get to the end, you still have to be loyal and not cheat. As expected of an old friend, it hits the nail on the head, and the relationship between Sammy and Tony on the other side also reached a crossroads. Seniors don't like this kind of accident in life.
ต่อจากนี้คุณช่วยเลิกยุ่งกับผมเถอะ
So Tony also angrily left a harsh word, turn around and leave. Although Tin came to the hospital, he was absent-minded. Mary inquired and learned about Ben. Scumbags are scumbags. Everyone gets to punish them. Mary was so angry that he wanted to delete Tin's phone messages about him. But Tin wants to come by himself, and Mark was still worried after sending Tin to the hospital. So I came to the hospital again on the pretext of delivering snacks. But this time the nurse sister told him that Tin didn't come to work. Although he didn't see Tin, Mark looked up and saw Ben. When the rivals met, the two almost fought again, but this is the hospital had to give up, and Tin is on the rooftop. Looking at Ben's contact information, I hesitate to delete it or not. Brother Juan and others saw Mark's situation, comfort him, but also stated a fact. That is, doctors and doctors may be more compatible. On the other side, Sammy is shopping in the supermarket. Overheard someone talking about Tony's wound. It worried him a lot, so I decided to go see him. And Tony's temper is not covered.
ทำไมไม่ดูแลตัวเองให้มันถูกต้องแขนผมน่ะเป็นยังไงก็เรื่องของมัน
I am also determined not to destroy the safety zone of the seniors again, so I didn't accept the other party's condolences. I persuaded Sammy to go back, and Mark has not contacted Tin until now. This made him very worried and even began to make up his mind, but luckily at this time Tin called him back. It turns out that in order to heal Tin, he embarked on the journey home, and used the vacation I saved for the scumbag. And the family is already waiting at the door. Everyone is very happy to see Tin. The family can finally meet face to face, eat delicious food together. After dinner, Tin silently washes the dishes in the kitchen. In fact, his strange sister can see everything.
อยู่บ้านละเป็นตัวของตัวเองนี่แหละ
Finally, I can't restrain my sad mood. Hold my sister and cry. Wait until my brother finishes crying. My sister just started asking what happened to Tin. But you can guess it's about men. Sister advises Tin that sometimes being right is the most important thing. Hear this. Mark appeared in Tin's mind, so he took out his phone, and Mark sure enough called him a lot. When the two finally connect again, Mark is not shy anymore. Instead, he directly expressed his miss for the doctor, and Tin couldn't help laughing. After this call, Doctor, who had decided to stay home for a week, quickly changed his mind. Ended the trip at home after 2 days. Mark with a bunch of specialties. But who knows that Mark hasn't appeared yet? Mark's big boy and little Mo appeared. Now the doctor is confused. Are my feelings so rough? And Mark didn't explain much when he saw the doctor's circle. Instead, he took him to buy food for his son. Now Tin couldn't bear it anymore and asked tactfully. At first Mark wanted to keep teasing the cute doctor, but seeing him flustered and confused, Mark still can't bear to tell Tin the truth. It turns out that Xiao Mo was his brother's son. My brother is not up to snuff and my sister-in-law has already passed away. Mark took the responsibility, and Tin heard that Mark did not marry young and have children out of wedlock. Also greatly relieved. After buying food, the two returned to the garage. Xiao Mo was bargaining with the uncle and the second uncle. I don't want to do my homework when I see Mark coming back. It's hard to come out. Of course I want to go out to play. And now, of course, the doctor will accompany you in this case. The exciting project amazed Xiao Mo but gave Mark a headache. Although he is not old with old arms and legs, he still surrendered, so he turned to buy ice cream. At this time, Xiao Mo asked the doctor curiously, how can Dad, a writer, have doctor friends? And Tin told the children.
พ่อของใครเนี่ยเขาเป็นคนดีมากเลยนะเวลาที่อาอยู่ด้วยแล้วสบายใจสุดๆเลย
Next, we went to the dinosaur paradise. Complex knowledge has made Mark unable to answer, but he has doctors. Easily solved the problem raised by Xiao Mo. At last the tiring day was over and the three returned home, and Xiao Mo has already fallen asleep. Tin couldn't help lamenting how difficult it is to raise a child, and Mark actually started hitting the straight ball. Opening your mouth is whether you want to be the child's other father. While progress, and Tin was teased with a face of shyness. I thought it was too fast, so I decided to be an uncle temporarily, although that's what it says. But Tin has already made up his mind to be another father. Turn on the computer when you get home. Checked out Xiao Mo's course requirements, and Mark was also thinking about the doctor at this time. But the next second his ex-girlfriend sent a text message inviting him to meet. Turn the screen. Sammy sees Tony coming out of the leadership office, worried that the other party will complain about their dissatisfaction, thus affecting things to stay and work in the hospital. So he went in and tried to ask, but the leader did not hide anything. Tell Sammy everything Tony said.
พี่เขาเป็นคนที่เป็นห่วงและก็ใส่ใจน้องๆอยู่ตลอดสำหรับผมแล้วนะครับพี่บอสเป็นพี่ที่ดีที่สุดเลยครับ
Leaders are also very satisfied with this. The next day Tin took the course notes ready for Xiao Mo. Came to Mark's house, but at this time there was a girl crying in his arms. Tin was shocked. This is Mark's ex-girlfriend. She actually asked who the doctor was, and Mark actually introduced Tin as a normal friend. Brother, yesterday you said another father. When Tin heard this, He lied that the hospital had something to do and wanted to leave, but the teaching materials prepared for Xiao and Mo were scattered all over the floor. Mark was stopped by his ex-girlfriend again when he wanted to chase the doctor, and this mysterious ex-girlfriend wants to get back with Mark, and Mark didn't refuse. And the doctor, emotionally hurt again, returns to the office, comfort each other with Mary, who is also emotionally frustrated. These two poor babies. The other side. Sammy is back where Tony took him skateboarding. Look everybody, he has a new decision. I saw him rushing into the classroom where Tony was teaching. I borrowed the microphone from the professor and said to Tony seriously,
ยกโทษให้ผมได้ไหมไม่โกรธแล้วก็ได้
and confessed that he wanted the other party to be his boyfriend. And Tony looked at Sammy with such sincerity. He agreed to his courtship amidst the booing of his classmates. Mark sent Xiao and Mo back to Grandma's house. But there's one more thing uncles are curious about. That's Mark's ex-girlfriend. What is this lady doing back here? And Mark didn't hide. Tell uncle she wants to get back together. But I didn't agree. Mary came to the coffee shop again in the hospital. But this time she ordered 2 cups of coffee. It turned out that she invited a blind date to come here together. But this blind date is also a typical nouveau riche. It is very easy to switch from disgusting coffee to showing off watches. Mary is finally in the exaggerated behavior of the other party, reached the limit of endurance, looking for a reason to leave. But this time YAM did not wait any longer but chased after him. I gave the omamori I brought from Japan to Mary, and finally made it clear.
คุณหมอเป็นแฟนกับผมได้ไหมครับ
And Mary's move is also wonderful. Not only makes YAM jealous, and finally got a boyfriend who loves each other. Seeing couples become a couple, Tin submitted his resignation letter to the hospital. So after Mark cleaned up the mess on his side, I can't find a doctor, and Mary saw Mark's anxious look, or telling Tin is home. Mark didn't help with assists this time, very proactively went home and changed to a 4-wheeler. On the way to find Tin, Mark finally arrived at Tin's hometown in Chiang Rai, but the car ran out of gas. Fortunately, I met the local villagers, sent him to the door of Tin's restaurant, but the restaurant is not open today. Mark, who was unwilling to just retreat like this, climb up the door and try to get in, but I don't want Sister May to come out and catch him right now. My sister heard that Mark was here to find my brother. I knew he was the one who made Tin sad.
ตะวันบอยู่ขึ้นดอยไปปูนละ
ไอ้ดอยเนี่ยมันไกลไหมครับ
บ่ไก่ซาวโลบ่ได้
Even if there is no chasing wife crematorium, physical strength must be paid, and Mark can't care so much. Actually ran over. The road to Tin has no end in sight. Mark is already sweating from running. Then 3 motorcycles appeared from behind. It was Brother Juan who brought his younger brothers to support Mark, and with their help, Mark finally made it to the destination and saw Tin. Tin was also surprised by this, but Mark didn't wait any longer. Tell the whole story between yourself and your ex-girlfriend, and serious and formal confession to Tin.
เรารักตะวันนะ เราก็รักหมอเหมือนกันนะ
2 people kissing in this beautiful scenery. As soon as the screen changes, the new year will come soon. In the hospital, Mary and YAM are in a hot relationship, and Tony and Sammy are no less. Everyone has sweet love. Mark and Tin are no exception. Even Mark, under the influence of the doctor, decided to start over and go to college. Only in this way can we take better care of Tin. And this is the last gift. Soon to be 4 years later, Tin has become an independent doctor, and Mark also graduated from engineering school, have their own shop. Meeting each other made them better people, and they are also on this journey of life, into each other's hearts. The story ends here. Thanks for watching. See you next time.